right? Time to get some editing done. Let me open Adobe here. Make a new project and all that wonderful stuff. I feel like it's been forever since I made a video. I know it hasn't been that long, but like, holy moly. Let's... What are you doing back there? Why are you like slinking around? Is it because of the shoe thing? Listen, that was because you tried to take over the YouTube. Like, I'm the one that makes the videos. You're the caricature. I don't hate you. You just crossed a boundary. This is my chair. This is where I do the thing. Like, we got to keep our boundaries straight, you know? I don't hate you. You don't have to hide back there. Get up here. Come on. Come on up here. You know they love you. You know you're a big part of the channel and they appreciate you a lot. You know they're probably waiting for you to say the thing. Like they're probably chopping at the bits to hear you say the thing. So if you're feeling a little better, I would say the thing. Make the people happy. What they want to see. Truce? Video. There you go. Hi guys, Brain here and welcome to a different kind of video today, because the other day I was looking at a Mori tier list from another creator and I was very interested in what my old thoughts were about the Moris that I had seen and how I felt about them. So I went back to look at my own video and found out that it was 5 years old. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've looked at the Moris and rated them. So I thought no better time like the present, especially since we had a new character release, to go ahead and look at all of the wonderful Moris in the game of Dead by Daylight. I do need to remember, this is a reminder for me, not for you, to look at the visceral Moris that the Trapper's Naughty Bear skin and the Were-Elk skin on Huntress have, because I very much would forget those knowing me. Yeah, we are going to rate these kind of similarly to how I rate most things when it comes to my tier list ratings, but we're still going to go through them. I have these little monikers under each of my tier list rankings. That way you know generally why they are put there instead of just going, why is that in D? Why is that in C? S is best, so this is the cream of the crop, the tip of the top, the best Moris that are in the game in my opinion. A is great, like these are awesome, these are amazing, they just didn't make the cut for what I consider to be the best Moris in the game. B is alright, like it wasn't bad, but it kind of was slightly underwhelming, but it wasn't, I can't say it's bad with a good conscience. C is like meh. Like there just really wasn't a whole lot going on there. It's not like bad, but it's just also nothing. It's just a big old nothing burger. And then we have D, where it is outright bad. It is outright terrible. That needs to be replaced. They need to give that Mori something else to make it actually worthwhile and interesting. I will say in terms of looking at Moris, what I am looking for is like a good lead up, a good build up is a very, very good part of a Mori. The suspense before something scary happens. And then when that scary thing happens, it has to be visceral. It has to be go, ugh, I would hate if that happened to me. You really got to retch, kind of like a Saw trap. You know, people rate the Saw traps in the Saw movies. It's kind of like the same thing. You got to go, ooh, I would not want to be stuck in that situation. So those are kind of like the main two things I'm looking at for a Mori is a good build up to like a climax or something scary happening. And when that scary thing happens, it's like, oh gosh, that looks painful. That looks rough. I don't want to be in that situation. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First off, we're going to be looking at the Trapper, which is probably going to be extremely underwhelming. Yeah, he just kind of walks up and just a-cha, 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 a-cha. That's it. That's all he's got. Going over to the tier list here, this one is definitely going to be bad. Trapper really needs an update to his Mori. He's one of the original characters in the game, so like I get it, but this game is going up in age. It's gonna be 9 years old this year, going on 10 next year. So I think it's about time we update the Mori of our flagship character that's on the box art, on all the advertising of everything, because currently his Mori is just kind of walk up, just I guess I'll just do this because they make me, and that's kind of it. It's pretty bad. But let's not move on from Trapper, because if you guys remember, Trapper came up with good old Naughty Bear as a skin for him that was very expensive when it first came out, but it also came with its own Mori, which I believe to be a very big improvement. Hoist him up, cops him a couple times, just good for measure. Got to tenderize the Jeffrey. And the kick into the trap, I think, is what sells it. I think the kick into the trap is really what makes it way better. Because Trapper's Mori just walk up and go, but he lifts you all the way up, stabs you a couple times, goes, I don't think that's brutal enough, and then throws you down into the trap, which I think gives a good ending to this Mori. Where would I put it on the tier list though? Let's see. I think it's great. I think I'm going to put it in great. I don't think it's one of the best Moris in the game, just because the lead up to it where he just kind of stabs him a couple times isn't like the most, like, you know, exciting thing in the universe. But then when he drops them into the trap head first and just clamps on their face, like, that sucks. That would be an awful way to go. So I love that part of it. The lead up to it is kind of boring and takes a little while, but once it does, the ending is great. I think it keeps it from being something an all right or meh. But I don't think it puts it into the best for that reason. Next up, we have good old Wraith, which is another original character. So I bet you can guess how this is about to go. Yep, he's just whacking him. Yep, that's it. Pulls him by the ankle, which is kind of cool in the sense that it's like kind of sets up like, oh, he's kind of like fighting back a little bit. No, he drags him by the ankle, which makes you think that the survivor's going to fight back, and then he just doesn't. And then once again, a la Trapper, because it's one of the original characters, he just goes, and that's it, and then it's over. So not for any sort of spoilers or anything, but you could probably guess that it's gonna go in bad. It goes slightly above Trapper in the sense that, like I said, at least the ankle gets yoinked a little bit, so it makes you think something cool's about to happen, because you're like, oh my gosh, he just dragged him, that's scary. But then nothing happens. He just once again just goes definitely another Mori that needs an update of some sort. And no, we don't need a visceral that we have to buy to have a cooler Mori. Just put it on him, please and thank you. Next up, we have a character that I used to main, but haven't made in a long time. Good old Billy Boy, good old Hillbilly. Let's go ahead and take a look. Another original character, which may prelude you to some things. And then he just like stands there for so long. It's so awkward. And I think it's this Mori kind of like fails in the sense that, like, I get Moris will to some extent include their weapon. Of course it will. But like the whole point of playing Hillbilly is running around with that chainsaw and insta downing people. So the fact that the Mori is then, a almost near identical use of your power that you do in the game, except now they're laying down, is just so like minimal in every way. And it gets really painful when he gets done and he just kind of like, the camera's still on, he's just like, it's just kind of standing there slowly getting off of him. It's really awkward. And you really feel that if like you're in a crunch and you brought a Mori and you're trying to like Mori people out of the game so you can get back to chasing other people, where you're just kind of sitting there like slowly zooming away from the camera when you could just be getting back in chase. It feels really bad. I still think it's a step up from Trappers because like chainsawing through somebody's back is pretty sick, pretty cool. But that's kind of the only thing that saves it from just, you know, it's not a high bar to beat, which is just whack, 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 but it's not much better. And that awkward pause where he just kind of stands up and just kind of stands there is like really bad. Next up, we're going to look at the noise. The noise. This is also really fun because you guys get to look at my drip or lack thereof that you can make fun of me for. Use their little force powers to flip the person over and then immediately goes to choking or something else if you guys have that 7TV emote that people have on Twitch. I didn't even notice the neck snap there. I don't think I've ever caught that part. Is the whole neck snap there? I like how they fight back the whole time. Oh yeah, there is kind of a neck snap to that. That's cool. I've never noticed that about this. And then the little caress at the end. There's a lot of flourish to this. I don't play Nurse very often because she makes me motion sick. Something you've seen on the play as tier list. There's a lot of flourish to that. The survivor fights back. It's a very, very, very graphic way to go, being choked out like that. And I didn't even notice the neck snap at the end. I think that's something I've never picked up on. It just shows you how much I pay attention. Yeah, this is surprisingly better than I remember it being. And I guess that is, of course, I can't play her enough because she makes me feel kind of ill. I can see that, but yeah, wow. I think I'm gonna put this. I think I'm gonna put it at great. She'll probably be on the low end of great, just because there's gonna be so many great ones that are awesome. There's many Moris that are bad in this game. There's also a lot of good ones. But I'm surprisingly caught off guard by the amount of like Yeah, there's a lot of flourish with this, a lot of like little do's and dads that are in there, the resistance, the slow going, and then the snap at the end I didn't even see until like now. It's like, there's a lot of and then the little caress at the end, the little oh, it's over now, which kind of fits into her lore. It really brings everything all together. I really liked that more than I thought I would. And now for one of my favorite IPs, good old Michael Myers. Man, his model is looking really rough in 2025. That is definitely looking like a 2016 model, especially in this lighting. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at his Mori, which a lot of people don't see because they're going specifically for tombstones, so you don't see the pickup animation there. He's very strong, very, very strong boy. And I like how like disrespectfully he just like tosses them aside. Like Myers really does not see people as people. So the fact that he just like tosses them aside like that is just like it's like the most disrespectful part of that. I think at the same time though, I think it's just all right. I think it's just okay. Like pulling him up by one hand is a cool show of strength, and he stabs them, realizes they're not dead, pulls the knife out. He's all like punching him on the chest while he's doing it, so there's a little bit of survivor resistance in it, which is really neat. And then he stabs him at the end, finally dies, and he throws him, tosses them aside like they're garbage. But it's like, that's it. It's just kind of like, I pick you up, like chop chop twice, and then it's like, okay, I'm done. Like it's almost like the point of the Mori is that he's just kind of like taking out the trash and kind of lackadaisical about it. But as a result, it kind of weighs the Mori down, I think, a tiny bit, that he just kind of like stab, and then just like, okay, I'm done. Kind of like, it's almost like you blink and you miss it, you know? All right, now we're going for a character that I do not like or play basically ever. Good old Hagatha May. Good old Hag. Let's see how this goes. Hers is pretty intense. Yeah, immediately into the throat. Now have some din. Yeah, that one's pretty gnarly. And definitely fits the character a lot. It's almost a little too quick though. I definitely get the vibe that that's like, once again, kind of like Myers, you kind of just like blink and you miss it. Where does it go on the tier list? I think it's all right. I think it would be a disservice to put anything outside of all right, because it's very, very, very like brutal. Like if she goes for your neck, nom, and then she rips your stomach open and starts eating more. It's like, it's a very brutal way to go. If we're going by the parameter of like Moris are rated by, I would not want to go through this. I would definitely not want to go through with that. But I do feel like it's over in such a flash that like you don't really get to relish the brutality of what's really going on, which kind of keeps it only in the all right tier. Next up, we have good old Dr. Shocker. His is pretty simple and to the point, but still very cool. This camera angle with like the eyes and the mouth open, it's such a ooh. It's a Mori that does not have a lot going on, because he just does the little static shock therapy thing that he does throughout the match, but he does it like on both sides of your head. And then when he goes to check the results of what he just did, like the survivor face is like haunting. Like watching the eyes roll back into their head and their mouth just gaping open. That's nightmare fuel right there. That's nightmare fuel right there. And I think it makes up for how simple the Mori is overall. I'm gonna put that, I'm torn. Do I want to put it at the top of all right or at the bottom of great? I think I'm gonna put it at the top of all right, because like it's another one like these three. They seem to be kind of like in an era of Mori design where like if you look away for like 2 or 3 seconds, you're gonna miss the whole Mori. Like it's already gone. That haunting face is going to keep him at the top of B unless something else like dethrones him, because that's like, that face is scary. That face is haunting when you see that survivor just absolutely cooked. Full steam ahead, we're gonna go into Bubba, a nicely dressed lad here. This one, that's like with a lot of IPs, will be like an homage, so we can see that coming. Fun fact, this used to be even more of an homage. At the end of this, somebody found in the files recently, they would actually go into the full chainsaw dance. Not sure why they cut that. Probably, I would assume, because he would be standing there forever, and Mori's happened during the game, so if you used it in the middle of the game, you'd be wasting a lot of time. And in that one, I think it's just like a faithful movie recreation. You know, the bonk on the back of the head at the beginning of the film, and then the chainsaw through the back later. It's like, it's all just like, it's all homages to like things that happen in the film. It's pretty simple, it's pretty servable, and then he does his little victory dance afterwards. I think it's all right. I think this is like the pinnacle of an all right Mori. Like, this is the pinnacle of all right Mori. It hits the beats that make you go, oh yeah, I saw that movie that you're from. That's cool. And then he has a little victory dance at the end. Like, it's all right. I don't think it does anything like spectacular, but it serves its job as reminding you of the IP that the character is from, and also serving as a Mori. Next up, we have Huntress, which is another character I made at one point. And we got to remember for this one, this is a twofer because there's another visceral Mori with a skin coming up. But let's go ahead and do default Huntress for now. Right in the head right away. It's kind of a simple way to end that. I like how it sticks. I like how it sticks. That is the part of it, that I like. Is that like the fact that like she chops the person so hard in the face that it sticks when she lifts up, and she has to like physically remove you from the axe. I think that's always been such like a fun like twist on the, oh, I just hit them Mori that a lot of people have. Unfortunately, what she follows it up with just like the 2 axe chops is not too crazy, because like clearly this person has already done so after the chop to the head. So the other 2 chops are just there just to fill airtime. I think it's very obvious. I think this one is also going to be an all right one. I think without the axe head getting stuck in their in their head and they're having to physically remove it, this would probably be in meh. But I think because of that, the very, very strong opening, I don't think I could comfortably put it into meh. All right, now we go to another IP killer, good old Fredward Krieger. Has a very nice kind of flourish emote at the beginning. Comes out of nowhere. But it's just kind of it. Kind of it. Yep. And I think it's one of those things where like, when it is a IP as creative as Nightmare on Elm Street, even though this is the remake version, the fact that he's just kind of like, I'm behind you, and then I just go through your gut, and then that's it. It's a very just like underwhelming Mori for somebody who is such a creative character when it comes to the way they go about delivering torment in their own IP. So the fact that they just kind of, that's all he does, is like really underwhelming considering who he is. So I'm not gonna put him bad, because it's still got enough like flourish to it of like, he prepares his little finger glove claw thing, and then the survivor's looking left and right like no idea, and then it just only just pops through them, right? There's a little bit of pizzazz to this, but it's still just guy stands behind survivor and then cha, and that's it, right? Like that's all. So it's like it's meh. It's just exactly the name of that tier. It's like, it's okay, it's all right, I guess. It's eh. Speaking of IPs with characters that should realistically have a lot of creativity with the way they go about punishing their victims, let's go old Pigu. Let's go with good old Pigu. Comes up, goes through the hand and throat, and that's it. I mean, it's the comp Mori, because it's one of the shortest Moris in the game. But yeah, that's it. That's all. And yeah, before somebody's like, actually, that's a reference to Detective Tapp and what happened to Detective Tapp. I know, I've also seen that movie, but also like, that's not, Amanda did not do that in that movie, so it's not even her Mori in that film. So yeah, I think this one should be pretty obvious. This is like, is it worse than Trapper? It is one of the worst Moris in the game. I would say it was one of the, I'm gonna put it at the bottom. Hot take, I'm gonna put it at the bottom, because it's over so quickly that even if it had a lot of benefits or positive aspects to it, it's over so fast that you don't even get to really relish in any good parts it has. Not to mention, like I said, a la Nightmare on Elm Street with Freddy, is like the soft franchise is full of some of the most creative ways people have met their dooms in horror history. So the fact that we have representation for that in DBD, and it's just, that's it. That's all. It's just extremely underwhelming, and probably the most underwhelming IP Mori in the game. So welcome to the bottom pig. Next up, we're back to original killers. We're going with the clown, or Mr. Puddles in my case. Stomping is just so mean. It's just like so unnecessary, but it really fits Ken. And if why do I call him Ken? Like I know him. Yeah, Ken from work at the fingy. That part's just gross. That part's just unnecessary. Once again, fits the character very well. Very mean-spirited Mori. Like he just does not care for human life whatsoever. And the fingy obviously is very, very gross. Very, very gross. I think this one's gonna go also in a right. I think I like it better than Bubba's. I think it's just like it's so ruthless, but like it makes me uncomfortable in kind of like a give me the ick sort of way, and not a ooh that's kind of cool way. Like I kind of want to. I like should I be walking this? Should I be looking away? Like it gives me those kind of vibes. If you guys watch wrestling, this is the difference between like heel heat and go away heat. It gives me kind of go away heat. Next up, we have the Spirit, good old Rin Yamaoka. Let's go ahead and take a look. She kind of has the Freddy opening where she's behind you and the survivor doesn't understand, but it kind of ends way more intensely. Okay, hear me out. I kind of like this Mori a lot. It has the same opening that like Freddy's does, where like she sneaks up behind them, which is like a spirit form thing. And then like when she like impales you and forces you to the ground, she keeps wailing on you. Because like Spirit's thing is that she's obviously a vengeful spirit and very angry and upset. So like the fact that she just like wails on the survivor, and also if you believe in the white eyes theory that people have for DBD's lore, where the entity tricks people into seeing bad people from their lives when they were not in the entity's service. You could even in her lore, you could even see that she's like taking out all of those frustrations and pain that was done to her by her father on that survivor, which adds like a new layer to it. So it fits the character really well. I think this is such a simple Mori, but I think it fits the character so well that I kind of want to put it at great. It's not a really complex Mori, but it fits her so well that I think it's going to go at the bottom of great. Like her like sneaking up with the spirit powers and then going ham after downing you because she's just so furious, I think just fits her so well that I like that portrayal a lot. Next up, we have a fan favorite, good old the Legion, good old Legion. We're going to be doing Julie because nobody loves Julie like they should. They're always like, I like Susie or I like Frank. Nope. Julie, Joey are where we are at, but we're going to be doing Julie. No, that's bad for your lungs. We're doing Julie today. This one is such an underrated Mori. It's so visceral. I'm going to watch that again. I like that so much. Like the survivors actively fighting off the Legion and failing, and it's almost kind of sad to watch them just completely be unable to resist. Like it's painful. It's painful. And I think it really fits the whole like kind of amateur nature of what the Legion are, because if you know we've watched so many Moris so far already where it's like this the killer's just kind of like walking up and just doing its thing. It's like nah, throwing out the trash. The Legion really are very scrappy. They have to fight tooth and nail to be able to do the things they do because they're just normal people. They're just teenagers, right? So like the fact that they have to put in that much effort and just show the survivor fighting back so much and still ultimately losing, I think it tells such a story. I think that's the thing I would say. It tells such a story as you're going through the Mori. I think it's really cool. I think it's really awesome. And I think that despite what a lot of people say, this is one of the better Moris in the game. So yeah, no spoilers here. This is going so far at the top of great. I don't think I feel fully comfortable putting it in S because there's some bangers out there. But I think it's going to have a very, very comfortable spot at the top of A tier. All right, next we're going to get into Plague, good old Plagu, good old Adiris. If you're one of those people that cannot do the whole vomit thing, here is your signal. I do timestamps for everything. You don't have to worry about that. You know, she really made a good point there. I like what she said there. This Mori, I know a lot of people love this Mori, but I'm not a tremendous fan of it. I don't hate it. I think it's pretty cool, but especially considering that she starts like popping off right before she goes into the Mori. But once again, it kind of has that same problem that like the Hillbilly Mori had, where it was like your whole power the whole game is using the vomit to get people sick. So the fact that like the Mori that you do to the survivor is just, oh, it's just more of that except in their face. It's slightly redundant. And if she didn't have that little flourish at the beginning before she did that, I really don't think that this would be revealed as good of a Mori as people seem to think it is. Hot take. I'm not trying to be a placater. That's not what I'm trying to say, but I think this is a meh. I think if she didn't, you know, pop off before she went for it, I think it's just okay. I think it's just all right. Next up, which is probably one you were looking forward to considering the kind of video this is, still Ghostface. Especially considering the kind of video this is. This is gonna be kind of funny because I don't know if they fixed his camera yet. His camera's been gone for a long time. And oh, nope, there it is. Good job. We finally put his camera back in his morning. Yeah, what else is there to say? This is a lot of people's favorite Mori in the game, and it's easy to see why. He's absolutely going to town on the guy on the ground, and then of course asked to show off by taking a selfie with your dead body, which fits the original lore that Beaver came up with for their version of Ghostface to a T. This is definitely going to be our first S tier, and I'm sure this surprises nobody. This has historically been one of the best Moris in the game, and for a while did not have very much in the way of contenders, but thankfully over the years and years and years Dead by Daylight has been out, more and more characters have come out to also add to the S tier. But to this day, this one still holds up phenomenally. Next up, we have a character that I've actually been recently putting a lot of time into, and that being the good old Demogorgon. So let's go ahead and take a look. Leaps onto you, and then just tries to eat your head. And then if it came at a time where like you started actually exploring, kind of having more brutal like viscera and stuff like that in their actual Moris, I feel like that this one, like the part where he eats his head, the head would definitely be gone. Now that they're cool with that, but they weren't cool with that back when they did demo. Also a nice little tiny thing at the end here is when he does the little like claw thing into your side and then puts his hand on your head as he begins to roar. I think that's like a very subtle ending to this that's actually like really underrepresented. I think that like that part is almost just as cool as like eating the head. I think this one, do I put it in the bottom of right or the bottom of, or top of all right or bottom of great? I'll put it at the bottom of great. Like eating your whole head is a pretty gnarly way to go. And there's enough flourish before and after where it leaps onto you and also like proudly like roars over your body like it's a Jurassic Park dinosaur. I think there's enough flourish to it that I can put it at the bottom of great. I think I like it more than I like Spirit's Mori, just by a bit. Next up comes also a very, very popular original killer, that being Oni, or Kazan Yamaoka. This is one of the most disrespectful Moris in the game, and for that, I, spoilers, love it a lot. I'm gonna run you through this one more time. I think it fits the rage and disrespect of this character so much. So he stabs you through the shoulder while you're pinned up. He steals your tongue and gets mad at you because you're screaming, even though he's the one that ripped out your tongue. Like the audacity of this man. And he smooshes you to death because like, why are you screaming so much? It's not like I just stabbed you through the shoulder and took your tongue or something, man. Like he is just so over the top and so extra. And I think this one gets an extra flourish that a lot of other Moris don't have, because you can do this Mori while you're in the demon form, like your little blood fury, and then your eyes are glowing red and your hair's like sticking up while you're doing it. Is it's a good feeling. I know it's a little soon, but we have another best Mori in my opinion. There is so much to this. The stab through the shoulder where you're kind of like end up there. He takes your tongue, and then while he has it and squishes it, he looks at you like, bro, shut up. And then just starts beating you down to get you to be quiet. It's so funny. It's so just like unrelentingly ruthless for like no reason. It's so over the top in such a good way. I just realized that I forgot the Were-Elk Mori. Well, I guess we're doing that now. But if you were not a huge fan of the Huntress Mori, we also have the Were-Elk Mori, which is way more over the top. What is the blue stuff in its mouth? Is anybody tell me? Can somebody tell me in the comments what's the blue stuff in its mouth? Okay, hot take here. I'm not a huge fan of that Mori. It has one of the coolest setups for a Mori, where it's like it's got the cool camera angles, it drags them in, it picks them up, you see the face of the survivor panicking. And then it goes up on the antlers. You're like, oh gosh, that's a creative idea. And then it just does nothing with it. Like he just keeps the guy up there for like a second and then just throws him off. And I do mean like literally a second. Like it's just, you're there for a moment, there's whoop, now I'm done. I think it's like they had such a good startup and then just nothing ended up happening. No, I just think this is just, I think it's kind of meh. I think it's kind of meh. I think it's just like it leads up to something and then nothing happens. I think it's very meh Mori. Next up comes a character I enjoy to play a bit. I've kind of been not enjoying them as much, but I enjoy them a lot. Typically that being the Deathslinger. So let's go ahead and look at his Mori. It's just, and the way the survivor just kind of sits there, just clearly gone, clearly beyond life here, but just slumped over, dude. Like, I think this takes the concept of like what like the Plague Mori was and like the Billy Mori was and actually executes it well. It's like, okay, you use the harpoon throughout the match to get rid of the survivors, but this one is like, what if I do this in a way that's like really revolting? What if instead of just like harpooning them wherever I happen to hit them, what if I shove it through their spine and put it out their mouth? Which is just like complete over the top brutality, which is what we wanted more. Exactly what we wanted Mori. So spoilers, I don't know why they're all together. This is yet another S tier Mori, one of the best Moris in the game. It's not too long, not too short, needlessly brutal and in such an entertaining way. Nothing can go wrong with the Deathslinger Mori. Next up is the first IP character that existed when I started playing the game. I started playing during the Silent Hill PTB, good old Pinhead. Most people don't even see this Mori. They see the mini Mori. It comes with a chop, which I will not be rating. I don't know. I like that. I think that this Mori gets a lot of just like people just brushing over it because, like I said, like they're always going for the chop. Which the point of mini Moris is to be as quick as possible to continue the game, because mini Moris are more meant as like functionalities and not like full Moris, which makes sense. But like I love this a lot because first off, for those of you guys that like Silent Hill, in Silent Hill, like Silent Hill 2 specifically, Pyramid kind of like has a really weird walk, kind of like he's like deformed and awkward, which doesn't really come through on DBD, but you see it at the beginning of this Mori. And I love how he uses Silent Hill to wrap them up and then run him through with the sword. You know what's cool that I just realized about this, that I was just now watching this? Your legs like break while you're in this. Like the survivors, look. Yeah, your legs like crunch up and your arms. Ugh. Like that's literally constricting you and snapping your body parts. Ugh. Yeah, if it was not easy to tell, I think this is a very underrated Mori. I think this Mori is actually pretty great. I don't feel like I see enough people talk about it because all the attention goes to the mini Mori because it's short and effective in the moment of the game. But like in terms of like Moris being cool, flashy things for entertainment, like whew, Pyramid's Mori is very, very underrated. Next up we have Blight, another extremely popular original killer. I think it's a creative that he uses the blighted serum to make them like get sacrificed because they can't handle the blighted serum like he can. But I think it's just like he injects them and they start bubbling up. You're like, oh gosh, what's gonna happen? Oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? And then you just kind of like whacks him with the cane. That's it. That's all, right? Like you're like, oh gosh, and you just pop. That's it. Just a little game of whack-a-mole. I think this one is kind of like, is Matt mean? Is Matt mean? Because it's a creative idea to have like the bubbling up of the blight serum. I think that's a good idea, but it just goes nowhere. I think I'll put a bomb of all right. It's okay. It's just all right. I don't think it's bad. I just think that it builds up to nothing. So it has a really good opening and then just doesn't stick the landing. Right now we have the twins. So he's cutting him. So Charlotte cuts you down and is like, yeah, go ahead, buddy. I think that's supposed to be Victor like ripping your throat out, but it's like it doesn't really get communicated well in like 2020 DBD technology, which is when this character released. So it just kind of looks like he just kind of like throws a tantrum on top of you. I think this is another meh. Like, it's okay. No, it's not even okay. It's just kind of eh. It's like, okay, you chop you down and we're going to send Victor out to get you. And you're like, oh my gosh, he's letting the baby go. And then it just kind of throws a tantrum on top of you and it's over, right? I think there's just like not a whole lot going on with this Mori that's really interesting. I think it's cool that they utilize both of them for it. But outside of that, there's just nothing unique about it. Next up, we have the Trickster, and somebody who really loves pizzazz and showing off, which we will see in the Mori as well. I think this is the part that really sells it. Like even though he missed the photo. He missed the photo. But like, once again, kind of a similar issue with like Plague and Billy, where it's like you throw knives the whole game. So the Mori's just, oh, I'm throwing more knives. But then the last one knocks you down. And you're like, oh. And then he is so egotistical that he's like, here, have my autograph. I'll pin it to you. Which is just extremely disrespectful. Extremely disrespectful. And really fits the character and how egotistical he is. This is one people love a lot. They love this one a lot. I think they forget how the lead up to it is kind of just like not a whole lot. I think it would have been at the top of the right. I think it dethrones Doctors being the top of the right. The pinning your chest down with the autograph is such a cool ending, but the rest of it is kind of like, eh. I'm realizing the B tier is mostly like, yeah, the opening or the ending was kind of bad. The other part of it was really good. That's like what the B tier is ending up. It's like, yeah, the ending was cool, but that means the beginning was bad. Or the beginning was great, but then the ending was kind of like, eh. Next up, we have the Resident Evil killer, the first one. Good old the Nemesis, the Nemesis. No, Brian, you should have switched it to Resident Evil Survivor so he'll say stars. I'm sorry. Ugh. I think it fits Nemesis in every single way. Like, it really does. Like, he impales you through and then just like chucks you to the floor and then just turns your head into a watermelon, just getting rid of you. I think this one probably goes to the bottom of grade. We can put it above Spirits. Yeah, I still like demos more. But yeah, just like it just fits the character really well. It's quick, it's simple, it's a brutal way to go without even having to show it on screen. Like, the implication of what happened off screen is far worse. I think it's awesome. I think it's just a simple, clean, quick Mori that fits the character really well. Next, we have what's now a legacy killer in the good old Pinhead. This is interesting. His is one a lot of people like as well. Completely emblematic of the Hellraiser license. I made sure to pick Pinhead so he'd actually talk during this. Sending him to Brazil. What can I say about this one? It's simple. It's quick. It fits the universe from the character it's in. I think it's kind of slightly anticlimactic, but there's not much more you can do with the character, right? Sending him to the labyrinth. Yeah, like the Leviathan's labyrinth. Like, yeah. Like, what else can you do with this IP? That is to a T what would happen if Pinhead had a finishing Mori on someone. That's what Pinhead would do. I think it's pretty great. I think it's up there. I think that I like it more than a lot of Moris in the game. I think it's pretty awesome. Fits the character to a T. I like the way that the face stretches when like the hooks actually go into the character, so it feels like they're being like pulled apart, which is really cool. And it ends in such an interesting way that it's like they don't technically perish. They're getting sent away for eternal suffering, which is like, worse, far worse. I think what keeps it from going up any higher is like, yeah, it does just kind of like a promptly end. But I think the payoff is better from the lore perspective, even if it doesn't fit like the Mori formula, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like that's a good compromise to make for lore reasons. Next up, we have the Artist, a very underdog killer for a lot of players. I find this one funny, and I'll tell you something about this once this ends. This is the Xenomorph Mori before the Xenomorph was in the game. Watch. The Artist infects you with something through the mouth, face hugger, And then something bursts out of your chest, a chest burster. What's more from the gut? And now it's its own thing, being these birds. Yeah, it's just a Xenomorph Mori before the Xenomorph was in the game, which would not come for another 3 years. Man, I've been playing this game a long time, which I find very interesting. Is like, if we never get the Xenomorph, possibly, at least we have an homage to the character in the game, which I found very funny as a fan. I think it's all right. Do I like it more? No, I don't. Yeah, I think it's all right. I think that I think because it's kind of like paying homage, I think it's like, it's a very interesting thing for artists to have. And I think without the effects that a lot of other Moris got later, where like, you know, we could actually show the viscera of something breaking through or something like that. I think the little black ink bird just kind of like appearing out of the stomach is kind of hokey. But I think it's just a victim of the time that the character was made. It's okay. It's all right. Next up, we got Sadako, which is another victim of like kind of the pyramid effect, where you really don't actually get to see her Mori too much, because you mostly see just the eye stare and then it's over, for the sake of the mini Mori. But she actually does have an actual Mori that's really cool. Ooh. Ooh. And then she does the stare. Just your bone sticking out is insane. I remember when this first came out, my mind was blown. I was like, whoa, whoa. We were just talking about this with artists. It's like, this is where we started seeing the turning point of like, killers can kind of like be a little bit more brutal with their Moris now. I think Sadako has a pretty great Mori, and I don't think it gets talked about enough, because just like with Pyramid Head, who's right next to her, you mostly only see the mini Mori because it's the one that's like functionally helpful. But in terms of like a DBD Mori, she, even from the lore, it's really cool, because she breaks your arm and she breaks your leg, so you're just kind of like struggling on the ground, unable to move, unable to run. And then she does the death stare, which is like how she deals with everybody in the movie. So she just looks down and then you're done, because like even if you want to look away, you can't, because she's mangled you. So it's like, it's such a rough way to go. It's such a rough way to go. I really like it a lot, and I wish it got more appreciation. Next up, we have another beloved original killer, good old the Dredge. I'm using Snowman Dredge, hopefully that's fine. This one is very over the top in a lot of funny ways. Just all the little hands with the little tools. Donk. Such a disrespectful smack to the back of the head. It's kind of similar to Pinhead. Instead of like opting to like just brutalize the survivor, they just end up like teleporting them somewhere else or absorbing them into the darkness. I don't know. I think it's like, I think it's a fun Mori. I think it's what I'm gonna say. It's a fun Mori. I don't think it's one of my favorites. I don't even think it's a great Mori, but it's like, it's fun. It's a good time. I think by that description, I think it automatically fits into all right. I just think it doesn't like, it feels like Pinhead's Mori, but lesser. Because it's like, oh, some bad things happen and then you disappear into a place. Except Pinhead does that way better than Dredge does. He's like, I'm gonna hit you a bunch of times and then you disappear. So if you want the better version of this Mori, look up here, but then there's this guy giving you the great value brand. Next up, we have the other Resident Evil killer, this being good old Albert the Wesker. 7 minutes is all I can spare to Mori you. Take a look. Such an interesting start to Mori of them punching the killer. I was watching certain kind of material when I came up with this. Yeah, it's very, very suggestive. Also a very rough way to go. A very, to have the Ouroboros out of every orifice, like, I also like that the survivor straight up tries to fight back and actually does just like straight up punch him and it just does nothing. Like, it's such an interesting way to like eye catch you and get you invested in the Mori, and then at the end he's just, I think it's really cool. I think it's a really cool Mori. I think as the game has gone on, their Mori game has gotten so much better, and it really shows. I think it's another great Mori. I think, do I like it more than, like somewhere around mid A? It's great. Oh, I think it's great. I think it's like, it hits a different kind of like enjoyment of Mori. Like, I like these two because they're like really brutal and punishing. This is like more cartoony, goofy, but still like super entertaining. So it's like, I prefer the kind of like the, oh gosh, this is really intense, scary, but like, this is still awesome. This is still great. Okay, next up we have good old Kaneki. Good old Kaneki. His Mori is a little crowded, to say the least. That one looks like it hurts the most. Talk about overkill. Talk about just absolute overkill. Like summoning his whole posse to deal with you as you're just like absolutely filleted by everybody is just unnecessarily brutal, but also fits Starhush like very, very well. Just that unnecessary brutality. It's a very gnarly Mori. It's a very intense over the top Mori. Once again, I can't comfortably put this anything under than great. Like just like being passed between each of the guards as they all just like do something very awful, like one after the other, and then he just like rips you in half with his sword. Like it's like, ugh. I wish, of course, like you could actually be torn apart with it, but like I don't know what step they're at even now in 2025 and how likely they can do something like that. So probably couldn't make that full vision come to life, but like being just like absolutely just ganged up on like that was just absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. Next up, we come up with a very divisive character, being the Skull Merchant. Then take a look at hers. Why does the survivor scream at the top of that? Like, you've been at this point in the match, you've been seeing drones the entire game. Yeah, that's it. It's essentially just Freddy's Mori, but like not as good. Yeah, it's Freddy's Mori, but just like not as entertaining, because it's like he's not doing Dreamworld Freddy stuff where he's like finger glove and like surprising you out of nowhere. It's like, it's just, oh my gosh, a drone. Even though the survivor, like I said, realistically has been facing drones the entire match up until that point. Why is this drone suddenly scary? And then she just stabs in the back and drops him. That's it. That's all. Very underwhelming Mori. Hopefully with whatever rework she gets, maybe they'll take a look at this, but I highly doubt it. We have all the singularities. All the singularities. Good old Singularity. Hopefully you don't mind my blue Larry. I love that he talks the whole way through. He's so polite. He politely asks. Oh, that's so gnarly. You can clearly see that this was the point where they were finally able to just like go all out on their Moris. They didn't care any longer about like, but what if we mix up the face likeness of one of our APs? We're like, no, burn it off. Burn it off. And the fact that he's like sassing them the whole time is so fitting of Hux. Like, it's such a good Mori from the top to the bottom. Like, it is lovely. Like, he lies to you, then it's like, hey, it'll be fast and painless, it's fine. And he politely asks you to, you know, cooperate as you experience probably the worst possible fate that could ever befall a person. Like, it is not too long, not too short. It's the character well. Very brutal. Kind of funny, too. What more could you ask from Mori? This is definitely going to go up in the S tier. I like that a little bit more than Slingers, to be honest. I like it a little bit more than Slingers. I think the... I asked these. I'm just politely asking while it's happening. It's just like the funniest thing to me. I think it really puts the icing on the cake. All right, of course, we got to do my boy, Xenomorph. You know, this is a subjective tier list, but so you can probably take a gander about where this is going to go. But hey, I still have another excuse to watch this happen. So there you go. Of course, this is going to the top. Come on. Fits the character perfectly. He jumps onto them, uses his tail to stab it through and lift him slowly up, kind of like the exact way he does in Aliens vs. Predator. And then you see the survivor's face for 1 second where they realize what's about to happen, and the second mouth drives through the head, which is the same way Brett went in the original Alien. So many other characters of the franchise, of course. It's so cool. It's so awesome. And I think a lot of people, the only reason a lot of people diss on this Mori is because they're like, no, we didn't get face huggers as part of the power. That does not take away from how cool this Mori is. Like, we can have separate conversations about like what aspects of the Alien IP should have been involved with the kit, and not like throw out something that's really cool and really awesome just because you wanted something else. Because this absolutely fits the Xenomorph and is absolutely a way that it would deal with ending someone who was invading its hive. Looking at, I was about to spoil Romulus. You should absolutely watch Romulus, not get spoiled on it. But a character does fight the dust this almost exact same way in the movie, and it's really cool. So go watch Romulus. That's the TLDR. Next up, we have good old Chucky. Good old Chucky. Can I get bedwetter? That's a line that you can say at the end of this. These are all references to different movies, different Child's Play movies as well. Nice little homage for people that enjoy the... No, I got sayonara. Darn it. The fact that, speaking of which, the fact that he says so many different lines at the end means that, like, it's cool. Like, your Mori's slightly different every single time. I don't know. I'm not like a huge Child's Play person. I'm not a big Chucky fan. But I do appreciate the aspects of it that it really does fit the character and has homages to different movies throughout the series. And the fact that he does yell at you and kick you one more time is really funny. It does really fit the character really well. I think it's pretty great. Maybe I'll put it down here. I think that once again it's a subjective tier list, so me not being a super big Child's Play / Chucky fan probably has a lot of influence on why this is really low on the great tier. But I understand from an objective perspective, it's objectively a really good Mori. I think if I was a bigger fan of the series, it'd probably be higher. Next we go to the Fun Known, good old Unknown here. In the little jester hat that I have him in. Yeah, this will enhance the Mori big time. I like his little spider walk as he goes up. Ooh. I don't like how it's like in your eye and your nose. And you do turn to dust in this, which is something I feel like a lot of people rate this Mori kind of low because they don't realize that, like, at the end of this, Unknown does turn you into dust and literally absorbs you. That's what the Unknown is doing at the end of this. And I don't think people pay enough attention to notice that end of it. I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's like blinking, you miss it. It's like, yeah, I don't think the Mori is, I still don't think the Mori is super fantastic, but I do think that that's a part of it that does get overlooked. I think it's unfortunately another Mori that just kind of ends up being all right. Like, I feel like it's a big lead up to not a whole lot. Like, I guess it's supposed to be shocking that he has a back thing that can like turn people to dust. And it's a unique way to go that isn't just like, oh, well, they die, right? But I don't know. I think for a character that has such, like, they're supposed to be kind of like a analog horror creepypasta-esque creature that has like limitless possibilities of like the ways it can deal with things. The fact that it's just kind of like, I don't know, I turn him to dust. It's like kind of an underwhelming answer to that question. So I think maybe just the anticipation of what it could do versus what happens is a little lopsided. We're almost done here. We're going to good old Vecna, good old the Lich here, the D&D IP killer. Another one that kind of sometimes gets overlooked because of the mini Mori, but at least that mini Mori is only possible because of special items that you get in trial. You've lost your skin privileges. I do like that you get a whole skeleton out of that. I think that's neat. I do like that you get a whole skeleton out of it at the end of that. And there's a lot of like flourish into how he like pulls you up with this little Skeleboys. I think that it is kind of just like slightly anticlimactic though. He just kind of like, oh well, skin privileges gone, and then it's just a skeleton and that's it. Because I feel like you spend most of the Mori just kind of like watching Vecna lift you up, and then you blink and you miss what happened. I think this one, I think it's all right. I didn't mean to put it in mess, but it's like, wow, this is not bad. Yeah, I think it's all right. I think it's okay. I like the little skeleton that pops up at the end when you lose your skin privileges, but I think other than that, it spends most of it just kind of like emoting and gallivanting. You know, I don't think it's like that crazy. So next up we have another IP, go to Dracula, and we do have to do 2 Moris for this one because he does have 2 Moris just on 2 different skins. This one's pretty simple, it's to the point, very vampire-esque as he summons a glass to drink the blood. He just breaks his glass. What are you, Wesker? Do you have like a bajillion of those around? This Mori it's once again another one of the ones that's just like all right. Like, it fits the character really well, and I think that aspect is cool. But other than that, it just kind of like, you know, it's just the survivor bleeding out for a second. He sips a little bit of it, and then he throws his glass away. Like, realistically, he like this Mori is him like hitting the survivor once, and that's it. Like, the Mori that's actually happening to the survivor, it's really okay. It's just, well, not okay because you perish, but like, you know, compared to the brutality of some of these, it's just like, I'm just gonna hit you once is a pretty scot-free way to get off, you know? Also, sorry, I could not find like a really good image for True Form Dracula, but we do have to do True Form Dracula as well. So yeah, taking a look at True Form Dracula, This has its own Mori. It's one of the 3, at least in the current version of this game, Moris that we have that are unique outside of the default for the character that they come on. This one is so crazy. It's so wild. That Chuck is insane. That is the bar none most disrespectful throw in the game for Moris. Like, he just chucks you aside. That is wild to me. Like, the way he just throws you is wild. Absolutely wild. That is insane. When I first saw this, my jaw dropped. I think True Form, probably from an objective perspective, one of the best Moris of the game, if not actually the best Mori in the game. True Form Dracula's Mori is wild. It is off the charts. If I were not a Xenomorph main, that would probably be my favorite Mori in the game. That is over the top. And that throw at the end is gnarly. Absolutely gnarly. Almost done here. Now we have the Houndmaster, good old Portia, and Snug. I like that Snug gets to be a part of it. Ooh. Crunchy. I don't know about that Mori. It's like, it's not bad. I think it's just very like simple. It's a very simple Mori that doesn't try to overachieve in any way. And I think as a result, it kind of plays it in a safe way that makes it cool, but not really like wowing in any really way to me. And I think we have a perfect tier for that. It's called the all right tier, where things they're good, but they're not like crazy. They're all right. I like that Snug gets to be part of it. I like that their head kind of like caves in when they're going for the big stomp. But it's kind of okay. It's just kind of it's just kind of there. And finally, to top us off here, we have good old Ken Kaneki here. No, I will not be playing Rize and his. I know they say different things, but the Moris are almost basically identical, so I don't think it's worth doing the different Moris there. Let's go ahead and take a look. When we can't count. And drink, though. Blood. I think there's a cool aspect of this Mori that you really don't get to see when you're just looking at it just in the play Mori section, is that like when Kaneki actually leaps in this Mori, he's actually leaping in game. So you can like tackle people off of ledges and stuff with your Mori, which is like a creativity we haven't seen with Moris before, where you could actually like shift the survivor somewhere. I've seen people do this down the Hawkins hole. I've seen people do it down the drops on the Gideon meatpacking plant. They've come up with some pretty creative stuff when it comes to flourishing this Mori, which I think is very neat. I think the Mori itself is pretty cool in its own right. It doesn't really wow, but I think that like the creativity you can have with it is really, really awesome. I think I can't put this like anywhere else besides like great, just in the sense that you can kind of like probably at the top of great. It's like you can have some creativity with it. I think that there's a lot of like styling and flourishing to this Mori that I think I like a lot. I think that the thing that gets me is like, once again, they kind of default to I don't know how to end this Mori, so I just hit him a bunch, you know, which is kind of like a pitfall a lot of these Moris run into, is that like they have a good setup where it's like, I rip their stomach open and then I drink and I get real like incensed and a tackle happens. You're like, oh gosh, what's about to happen? He's just like, I'm just gonna whack him a bunch. I'm just gonna whack him a bunch. I think that's the only thing that keeps it out of S for me, is like the ending's kind of slightly anticlimactic. But other than that, that's it. It is a very, very great Mori otherwise. So yeah, that is my Mori tier list, at least up until the Kaneki release, the Ghoul release. Obviously, I'll have to update this when more killers come out. We know we got good old Springtrap or somebody coming from FNAF, so yeah, it's been a while since I haven't done this specific kind of tier list in 5 whole years. That's kind of wild. I think it's also important to remember that at the end of this that, yeah, these tier lists are subjective. These are just my personal feelings. These are not objective ratings on these characters and how cool their Moris are. That's just how I feel, how I enjoy them. So I'm interested to hear what things shocked you, which things you thought needed to be higher or lower based on your own personal preferences. Let me know down in the comments below what your favorite and least favorite Moris are. But on that, that's gonna be it for today's video, friends. Thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. But if I don't, I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye.